welcome to another episode of the Amantya podcast series. Today, we will explore how embedded systems are transforming industrial automation, driving efficiency and innovation across industries. The topic for today's session is embedded systems and the future of industrial automation. So, how do embedded systems, drive innovation across industries? What are the latest advancements, trends in the domain? Joining us to answer these questions and share insights on the work Amantya is doing in the embedded systems domain is the company's Senior Technical Manager, Rohit Soni, a leading expert in the field. Hi Rohit, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Rohina. So it's my pleasure for a short podcast here. Thank you.
So should we get started?
Sure, definitely.
So Rohit, my first question to you is that, since our topic is embedded systems, how are embedded systems, transforming industrial automation and any, recent advancements in the domain that you're particularly excited about?
To be very frank, embedded is everywhere. Either you consider it in your home or in your office or your industries, embedded is everywhere. Wherever the machineries are required, or in fact, if you consider that, for example, let me give you an example. You wanted to turn on and off the lights in your home with your voice command. So this is based out of embedded. Or if you talk about the industries where you monitor the, machineries and all, so even embedded systems are required on that domain as well. So definitely embedded is everywhere, and then nowadays embedded is getting more and more advanced since we started using the AML technology on top of it.
And any recent, more technologies, innovations that you really, which are interesting for you?
Since we have started using the 5G out of it, so 5G definitely gives a low latency on the top of it. So even the embedded systems are now more fast. For example, if you implement the 5G onto the voice domain, so you get the instant responses either from Alexa, Siri, or maybe a similar type of voice platforms. And then onto the second part, if you implement the 5G onto that industry domain, or even we talk about the mines and all, where particular sensors are required, so we can get the real-time data in just milliseconds.
That's very interesting.
Yeah.
So, coming to Amantya, Amantya has been doing some great work in the embedded system space. Any key achievements that you'd like to highlight, where the company distinguishes itself from other players in the market?
So definitely Amantya has done many key achievements on that part, since we already have a good embedded team over here. So that includes all end-to-end goal achievement. For example, if a customer requires a PCB design only, or they wanted to proceed with the whole product design, we support end-to-end. So in the past, we already did one of the good product for one of the customer. In that, this is definitely related to the industry. So the product was, they wanted to put some sort of sensors onto the electronic actuators or motors into the industry, where they can actually get some sort of vibration data out of it, and then put some sort of AML technology and then estimate what should be the life for that particular thing, actuator or motor or like that, and then bring the, bring that time to failure and all, that was really reduced. And then so the good part is what we did, we just put some sort of sensors onto the top of the motors, and then those sensors were Bluetooth enabled. And then in fact, you don't need to recharge the battery as well. So these were definitely battery operated, but since we already have the vibration, we recharged the battery completely from that part. And then those data was transmitted to the gateway, and then from the gateway to the cloud. So in fact, the cloud was so much AI ML capable that we can actually get the whole analytics report out of it, that 6 months before, that was the proper condition. Now we are on to that limit, and so the motor will last up to 1 year or 2 years or like that. And in fact, we can even protect the motors and all from installing and then getting that.
So Rohit, with every new technology, we do face challenges, right? So what are some common challenges one faces when developing and implementing embedded systems, and how is Amantya addressing them?
So definitely, if you want to build something, there are definitely some sort of challenges, and then without challenges, it's not totally interesting to bring those things up. So yes, we do face the challenges. For example, in the past, there was some shortage with the raw materials. For example, controllers, processors, and all. They were getting some sort of lead time with at least 50 weeks or 60 weeks like that. And then waiting so much long for those items, it was really challengeful. So what we did is we had a good relationship across the globe, and then from where we can actually get the material out of it, and then continue with the productions and all. On the second thing, so for example, if I talk about one of the project in the past, we built some sort of 5G camera, which was doing the live streaming directly to the cloud. And then that particular project required a 12-layer PCB. So 12-layer PCB, it's not really easy to fabricate here in India. So we have managed that, and then utilizing our strong partnership with across the globe with the PCB vendors, we did achieve that, and then finally we did assemble the PCB over here and then submitted it to the customer. Also, there are certain challenges across, like if the part is getting obsolete or not, and similar things like that. So still we utilizes the vendors to get the MTBF for this part and all. So that's how we address them.
So a good, strong partner
Yes.
ecosystem is in place, and that's so
Exactly. And then even like for example, even we have the good strong relationship with the microcontrollers families and all the vendors who supply those. And then if we have certain challenges, for example, just a very small example, if we have challenges for the power consumptions and all, then we communicate with those guys and then ask them the algos how we can achieve the lowest power consumption as per their data sheet. So we definitely utilize those all learnings from the past and apply it into the future as well.
That's very, very nice to hear. So Rohit, when it comes to integrating next gen, technologies and innovations like cloud computing, indoor localization, AGVs, drones, how does Amantya do this integration into its embedded solutions?
So that's a really interesting question, and definitely I would like to highlight much of the key achievements here as well. So actually, there was certain requirement for the AGVs and the drones. So there is certain company in the US. They are into the logistics, where they wanted to monitor the whole areas with the drones, and then also the AGVs were utilized to deliver the material from one warehouse to another. So what we did is we created a whole ecosystem which was based out of a 𝗵𝗍 server onto the top of it, which was basically a cloud. And then onto the second part, there are AGVs which are directly connected to the Mac on using the 5G. These AGVs and the drones are equipped with the LiDAR. So what we do is we take the LiDAR data, we localize the drones as well as AGV on the top of it, and then that raw data is directly sent to the 𝗵𝗍 server. Benefit of this key approach is you don't need to invest much onto the drones and the AGVs, because typically the edge servers or edge computers, if you implement onto the drones as well as AGVs, these are quite costly. So we just remove the brain out of it, and then the brain is now acting onto the 𝗵𝗍 server. So in this way, your 𝗵𝗍 server is only one, but that one server is controlling thousands of drones and AGVs. And then the intercommunication and everything is already happening. So that's the key achievement we did. And then we also incorporate some sort of fail-safe algos. For example, if the communication is not happening between the drone and the 𝗵𝗍 server, either the drone will hover or drone will land onto the nearest safe side. So we equipped the LiDAR, Z sensors and other stuffs as well onto the part.
So coming to the last question, before we wrap up, Rohit, what future trends do you foresee in the embedded system domain, and how is Amantya preparing to lead in this, evolving landscape?
Definitely, I see much of the embedded scope in the near future and all. So even if you talk about the automotive sector, then nowadays there is a trend for the connected cars. And in fact, I have also seen much of the cars with the self-driving capabilities. For example, there are all of them knows that the Tesla is doing the self-driving car, as well as I have seen Volvo's doing the same. So there is much scope for the embedded side, because overall the computing or the edge computing has to be done onto the connected car itself. I mean the car itself, whether it's a communication with the ECU or it's a body sensor controls or LiDAR or a 3D cameras and all. Everything has to be connected with the embedded system itself. So I see a much of the future on that part. And then nowadays, even if you talk about onto the automotive domains, even if you talk about the keyless entries or phone as a key or an NFC technology or a wireless charger, here everything is connected to the embedded system. And then let's come back to the industry topic. For the industry, I think much of the mechanical part is already being controlled with the electronics. But what happens if you put some sort of AML technology on the top of it? So this will definitely give you a whole consolidated data, and then maybe you can actually improve the production using the AML technology. And I think I know some of the companies who are already doing that. So there is much scope on that part. If you come about the home or offices, nowadays everyone is going to have a smart home type thing. So for the smart home, what happens if you just wanted to control your lights and all with the phone? So you can utilize your phone to turn on and off the light, or maybe there are some sort of air conditioners available which are directly connected to the Wi-Fi, and then you can control it remotely. So for example, if you are 10 minutes away from your home and you wanted your home to be already cool, so you can remotely start and stop it. So that's a key feature for the embedded part. So I definitely see much of the IoT work onto these domains, and this will increase day by day, since there is already a connected platform type thing, and then everything is going to shift onto the cloud.
So a lot of good things coming our way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Rohit, for your time and for your insights, and for giving us a peek into the great work Amantya is doing in the domain. It's been wonderful to have you on.
Thank you, Rohina.
So with this, we come to the end of today's episode of Amantya podcast series. Thank you for joining us. Do stay tuned for more such insightful discussions. We shall be back soon with another interesting topic in conversation. Until then, this is Rohina signing off. Bye-bye.